So now we're going to take a look at the unboxed handhelds. So I think it's in chronological order, the oldest first. And this actually belongs to Mrs. from when she was a kid. Would have got one when it came out. Look at that, bit of yellowing on the side, but it still works perfectly fine. And yeah, she looked after her screen a lot better than I did. Mine's original one's long gone. I think I sold it on at some point when I was upgrading between consoles. But yeah, that's the first one. I've then got I think it's a bit of a Japanese exclusive. I see Hello Kitty Game Boy Pocket. Picked this up not that long ago, probably 2-3 years ago. I'm assuming probably a bit more of a limited release, obviously just to the Japan region, but just a bit different, a bit cool. Next up, a couple of GBA SPs, Game Boy Advance SPs. I'm probably going to get it the wrong way around. I think the blue one, or bluish purple one, was kindly gifted to me by Mark GSG. So yeah, thank you for that, mate. Absolutely awesome, with a few games and a few other bits. And this is another one I picked up through Facebook Marketplace. And yeah, we kind of, between my son and I, we grab and have a quick play every now and again. Obviously the screen's in really good condition, largely because of the clamshell, which is a nice kind of design touch, which is the kind of the polar opposite to the more exposed original or normal kind of Game Boy Advance. This one is a bit of a reshell. It's got like an IPS V2 screen in it, so pretty well backlit. It's obviously got the Super Famicom colours and branding on the go. But yeah, really good fun. I think it was Metroid Fusion on this last year, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Really nicely done, well put together. I think it was just someone on from Etsy. It wasn't fairly decent price, but yeah, lovely handheld. This one I got earlier this year from is it retrogames.co.uk. So like a Game Boy Micro. You can only play Game Boy Advance titles on it, so you come a bit unstuck if you tried to chuck any original Game Boy games in there or Game Boy Color. The screen is obviously teeny tiny, but but slightly gimmicky. But it probably is one of the few Game Boys or handhelds that you truly can get in your pocket. Even with the Hello Kitty one, you're gonna need some seriously large dungarees to be able to get that one in. But yeah, I really like this. Really enjoy it. Obviously, some games are more playable on it than others. Any kind of text heavy games are just a complete no. But for basic platformers and retro games, it is pretty decent. This next one is the one my original from back in the day. So is it the DSi? A couple of little marks on it. But loved it. My first kind of foray, DS Lite. But yeah, it's kind of a bit yellowy at the top underneath the plastic, but still works fine. It's one of my days when I was particularly poor. I think it was like kind of post student days. So I did get one of these cheeky bad boys. It's about download a few titles, and all of a sudden I had the pretty much the entire collection at my disposal. So yeah, a bit naughty, but made me appreciate the handheld a bit more and got me away from brain training or brain games and some of the small handful of titles that I legitimately owned. And then moving on further still, we've got the 2DS. So it's not 3D, just standard, but large screen. This is probably, unless I'm playing a game that really benefits from the the 3D effect, then predominantly I will use this one. And lovely big screen, really bright, just really nice Another nice handheld, really well put together by a good old Nintendo. And these, the next couple, we step up the dimensions, and slightly different designs. I don't know, the one on the right perhaps is the newer one. I'm not entirely sure, versus the three buttons. But as you can see, you've got the the 3D kind of switch on the side. But yeah, wonderful. Absolutely love the 3DS. It's the only collection that I've got a full kind of set on, and it's the only collection I think I ever will do. Real love for this this handheld. It's just so many awesome games across so many awesome genres, and the batteries in them last quite some time. Like most things, handheld or retro or gaming related, prices are going up and up and up. So these two I've grabbed. I think one off, I can't remember which way around, probably the one on the left maybe was a CX special a while ago, and the one on the right was a nice little marketplace deal that I got with a handful of games. So like really chuffed with that. And then finally, the most modern edition is the Analog Pocket, which there's an upgrade to it, like an operating system upgrade to it. I think it was last week or the week before, which I kind of chucked on there, and makes it a bit more stable with certain titles, helps with save states, and a whole horde of other funky stuff that my small technically or non-technical mind probably can't cater for. But to pick up, whack in a good old Game Boy or Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance cart, this thing is freaking amazing, and absolutely love it. So that's it. That is the the loose handheld collection. Now here we are. Here is the first gaming space downstairs. Managed to sneak it into the kitchen. So it's mainly used by my son, but I'll jump on and play a few of the retro consoles anyway. But he is mainly focused on the modern Xbox, the Series X in the corner. But yeah, I do. Some of the backwards compatible games I'll kind of chuck into that, and equally some of the modern games that are retro inspired, I'll be all over them. But yeah, what we got, obviously we've got the Xbox, got a cheeky little GameCube orange or whatever it is, pumpkin spice orange malarkey GameCube controller there. We've got the bootleg John Rambo twins guarding everything with their life. We've got a bit of a random cloud car from Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, like the die cast from back in the day, and there's a couple little dudes in there sitting on top of a coaster of one of my favourite games, if not my favourite game of all blooming time, Taito, Chase HQ. Absolutely love it on the Master System. Put it on the Saturn, but Master System is pretty cool. My son's Xbox controller there, and then the cheeky little speaker, kind of split speakers there versus on the bookshelf, and got this bit of a random going from like little tangent, but very cheap yet very powerful amplifier. It sounds made up. Was it a Mookie or whatever? But yeah, it sounds like it should be Monkey, but it is not. It's a Mookie, but a really powerful amp. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, a bit of stereo there. But back to the gaming part. So console wise, what have we got here? We have got the Super Retro Trio Plus that allows us to play some Mega Drive, Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Famicom, Super Famicom. Obviously through the the Mega Drive stroke Genesis slot, I can sneakily put a converter in there and have some Master System action. I'm saving on. I'm going to get absolutely lazy sod. As you can see, I've got like an EverDrive, and then whatever it is, SD2 SNES Pro, just loaded with games, which avoids me having to go up and down the stairs too often. But yeah, really cool. It's my kind of only way really of playing the NES. Have got a console, but it's packed away. But this is pretty cool. It's the HDMI. Just through Amazon, I think it was Lee Nerdy Geezer that kind of got me onto this a while ago. But yeah, you've got the region settings, and obviously the different controller ports, but this thing is freaking amazing. Really good value. And yeah, it was like a wired retro bit SNES controller. My son must have put a little, was it Goofy or Pluto? I think it's Goofy down there. Was get mixed up between the two. Land of Illusion, a little coaster, and then it's kind of the modern, mainly kind of modern games. Down here we have got a couple of, was it the retro bit Mega Drive wireless controllers, which are pretty cool. But that aside, it is mainly games. Got my kind of son's ones on the, I'll argue it's my son's ones on the left, or mainly the Paw Patrols anyway. But then yeah, maybe Alien is more my cup of tea than his. But yeah, a few titles in there, plenty of, probably an overdose of Resi. And yeah, Elden Rings, sorry GSG, but it's actually, it is opened, but I just did the update and I kind of probably fell asleep halfway through, so haven't actually played it. Obviously seen loads of gameplay and want to get stuck into that. And then we kind of slide to the left. We've got the orange GameCube, which has been absolutely bolstered, but whatever the word is, kind of butchered, even, and kind of upgraded with, so it's like all blooming regions, and it's got like a little SD card slot at the bottom, which I haven't really played around with too much. You can see it's on top of the Game Boy Player. I was trying to get two orange ones, but the one I did find was silly money, and there was one just a black one going, and I thought, well, black and orange kind of mixes, so I got away with that. And yeah, all with kind of HDMI converters. I think it's the Keiko ones, however you pronounce it, at the back, just off Amazon. And then yeah, on the left hand side we have, scooching on the floor, the Dreamcast. Got it from CX. Got a few Dreamcasts, but this is the only one that's kind of plugged in and functional. But CX in London, crumbs, when was it? Some point last year, I think. And yeah, really nice colour. All my other ones are blooming banana colour. And yeah, the nice kind of retro fighters. Like wide stick works pretty well. So yeah, do probably my two go-to consoles at the moment. Do love the Dreamcast, and some awesome, everything on it really. Some fighters, some shooters, and some great like driving games, even a bit of Virtua Tennis. Yeah, love that console, and equally love the GameCube. I did have the GameCube back in the day, sold it, and then obviously rebought it, and yeah, now exploring a lot more games than I ever did. And it's fairly unexciting here, but if you like remotes, wires, little trinkets, instructions, controllers, this one's a bit more interesting. So I've got some loose Mega Drive titles in there, which is cool. Let's have a quick look. There's some hiding away at the back. So yeah, some good old titles. Batman Returns, absolutely love it. Albeit I probably prefer it a bit more on the SNES. Kid Chameleons, blooming awesome. Absolutely love that. I think it was the Game Shack. Like Nate, I mentioned that one to me shortly after gone to YouTube. He's like, look, you need to get this game. A fantastic compilation. Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe on one cartridge. Just one of the best value for money, I think, in terms of fun you can get for overall price, really. I think it's another mega cartridge behind it. A few similar titles, get even more bang for your buck on that one. Fantastic shooter, Manfelios. Standalone version of Revenge of Shinobi. I found it so difficult after playing the Master System version, the original Shinobi. Then jumping onto that took a bit of getting used to, albeit probably in more recent years I worked out how to get the infinite shuriken, which does help me a little bit. Sensei, not a bad version on the Mega Drive. And then these two, Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, kind of given. They belong in most collections. I think this one was recommended by Game Zone Birdroom James. Street Fighter 2, so they're kind of the remastered edition, which is pretty cool, and then another shooter at the back, and that's it. And then this other one is just very standard controls. The same as the Xbox Series X one, and I think this controller came with the Super Retro Trio. Not too bad, but I normally try and stick to some of the original ones. And yeah, that's the gaming area in the kitchen. And clearly not being content with the equipment I had in the kitchen, and it was running out of ports and space. I slowly but surely over time I've invaded a part of the front room, so the lounge. And behind here, got a cheeky little switch. Rarely use it. Kind of handheld version. It's normally docked if you like HDMI splitter things. I think a SCART for the PC Engine. All going on in there, but yeah, nice-ish telly. It's probably a few years old, but does what it needs to do. I think it's one of the earliest 4K ones, so it probably isn't as good as some of the more recent modern tellies, but it does meet fine. A rarely used DVD player, and then the Apple TV, which I use. I watch a lot of YouTube through that, as opposed to on my phone. And then yeah, Virgin box, and it gets a bit more interesting. Got like the PC Engine Core Graphics 2 with a funky little EverDrive card, which I got from probably AliExpress or somewhere like that for a very good price. Absolutely, yeah, love that. Haven't long really been into the PC Engine, but obviously plenty of bloody shooters and some nice platform games, some awesome little Japanese curiosities. Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But I'm a bit of a Star Wars geek, in case you didn't know, which I'm sure you already did know. So yeah, a few little books on them. So you've got some Switch games upstairs, but these are kind of the ones which are currently getting played. It's more by my son. My son and I. I've got to say, I probably do prefer the original Wii Sports. It doesn't work as well with the Joy-Cons, but a bit of bowling, a bit of tennis, and then the whatever it's called, the fighting one with the sticks, goes down fairly well. Bit of a shooter, Pocky and Rocky reshined, fairly tough, but yeah, you kind of edge a little bit further every time you have a go. That's quite cool. Final Vendetta. So I've got the special edition box for that, which unfortunately came a bit battered, but I did have a bit of a social media feedback whinge, and they're sending me a new box, which is cool. But yeah, really awesome game. Not finding it that easy at the moment. I think they might be releasing a kind of a difficulty mode, which I desperately need. Love this blooming game, particularly the remastered version, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and someone that I was on a stream with and a bit of a mate with now, I guess, off the back of YouTube and other social stuff, was actually involved in the making of the game, which is really cool. So I see his name in the credits. So yeah, big up to Luke, and yeah, nice cruise and blast. Just an absolutely lunatic, exhilarating, and very silly at times racing game. But yeah, really very straightforward. Quite good for not just adults, but for kids. Like my son. Because even if you try and steer off the track or something goes a bit wrong, it gets you back on fairly quickly. So it's not a bad little game if you want to get into driving games. And now let's have a look at the top right section. So we've got the Evercade and the VS, I should say. So it gets a fair bit of use. Mainly, I keep talking about them a lot, but mainly like kind of shooters. So we've got the Galco carton there on the left. It's a bit of I think it's a Spanish development house with like really good games, mainly kind of run and guns and shooters. And in the late recent one, there's like a crazy squash game, but it's kind of over the top. Very sounds like some of them in some of the soundtracks, like guitar tunes that seem like they've been recorded in someone's front room. And then Codemasters, can't go wrong with a bit of cannon fodder and the like. That's pretty cool. And then kind of controllers, various Switch paraphernalia. And then this is probably the embarrassing part of the tour, but it is kind of like a chunk of Master System games, box kind of PC Engine controller, and then a ton of PC Engine titles. So although I do have the Chinese kind of knockoff, whatever you want to call it, I have got quite a few original titles. Again, mainly blooming shooters, but yeah, I mean, a couple of shout outs. I mean, Outrun is bloody lovely on the PC Engine. I should have said they're all like Hue cards. I haven't got the kind of the CD player or anything like that. So it's all the Hue cards. The Street Fighter 2s, blooming awesome. And yeah, I've got Splatterhouse in there. A few like shooters, like Gallagher, I think, and absolutely rocking. Yeah, Blazing Lasers. And then it's even more embarrassing cupboard, which is all of the other, apart from some, probably the bigger hitter games, which are elsewhere. There's literally a ton of Master System games. If you want to see them in full, I did around Crimbo, I did a very quick just run through where literally I got all the A to Z of my games out and kind of just whiz through them. I've got some new titles in recent months, so some stage I'll do another one. But yeah, that is the downstairs.